How's it going, everybody? Guys, I just real quick got to let you know how much I love doing this podcast. I've got to meet so many amazing people, make so many amazing connections, and also get to bring you guys some amazing stories. So I just want to say thank you guys for helping me grow this podcast. I never thought that it would grow to what it is now, and it's only going to go up from here. So thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. I love every single one of you guys. Specifically, thank you guys so much to my sponsors. Ernie at Top Rocker Tattoo. I've had him on the show. We're actually doing the giveaway now. It took a little bit to get the giveaway started, but guys, he's going to give you 10% off your very first tattoo if you drop the name Side of Mayo. And I know what you're thinking. I'm loyal to my tattoo artist, and I completely get it because I'm not going to let anyone tattoo my body other than Ernie from here on out. But having said that, does your tattoo artist draw you out a custom plan? Does he measure the body part where you want it to go? For me, he measured my entire arm and got everything down to a science. He just loves talking to people. He loves hearing people's stories, seeing where they're gonna go. Hit up my guy Ernie at Top Rocker Tattoo, but get in quick because every single day I'm giving referrals to him, whether it's at the store, driving, it doesn't matter. People are asking me where I get my tattoos, and he is booking up fast. Also, people who book up fast is my guys Ernie. Also, who is booking up fast are my guys George and Ronnie at Revitalize Med Spa. Guys, check out their Instagram, check out their website. It's going to be in the description. They do amazing stuff. I rave about the mobile IVs, guys, and I'm not even kidding. It literally is the best thing that's out there. Now, for the females, for the ladies, they do the microblading. They do all the other stuff as well. Go in and get pampered. They have licensed people there. They are going to take care of you. Also, 10% off your first purchase if you drop the name Side of Mayo. Maybe even slide into their office and say what's up to them. Amazing people. I met them at a dinner one time. Completely just didn't know who they were. Sat down next to them, and now they're two of my best friends. Make sure to visit them at Revitalize Med Spa.
And I'm top 10, and if you think otherwise, suck my dick. I got it locked and I'm locked in. I'm cut different, I am not them. These red life and we tied in. They got me and I got them. They say
what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Side of Mayo show. Guys, I did not release an episode last week. I'll explain a little bit more later on, but we might have to re-record it. We might have to do a few things, but it's going to be the best episode that I've had. Maybe other than this one. Guys, with me, I have a very, very special guest. I met this guy a couple months ago now. We met up and we got drinks and just started talking about life, and ever since then, we've been good buddies. So everybody, please welcome in my guy, Brian. Brian, how's it going, man?
That's good. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Of course. It's about time.
Yep.
It's about time. So
Love it.
let's just jump right in.
Let's go.
Tell us a little bit about what you do, because not only do you love what you do, you made a killing doing it last year, still into this year, but more importantly, you really want to educate people on how to go about buying a home properly, different steps, different tips. Tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
So, first and foremost, I'm a little bit different than most loan officers right now, right? I feel like a lot of loan officers are capitalizing more on the refinance market, right? Which is a very cyclical business. And my approach when I first got in this business was more of a longevity approach, right?
Okay.
I began cold calling real estate agents, right? Hours on hours a day.
Wow.
Right? On top of that, I would take flyers, hand them out door to door. I went to title companies to introduce myself. I did everything that my competition was not doing.
Yeah.
Because I was sick and tired of where I was at. I knew what it was going to take.
Yeah.
And I had people that kind of had warned me, like, hey, if you're going to go independent, you're going to be on your own. Like, you're going to have your own battles to face.
Yeah.
And I was prepared for that. But I really dug my feet in, and I got busy, and it worked. You know what I mean?
So let's talk about that first, because you do what other people didn't want to do, right? If I know one thing, everybody freaking hates cold calling. Everyone hates having to go out on their own and figure it out. Why did you feel the need to go do that?
It was different though, right? Because I don't work for a company. I worked for myself. I work for a company. We're under an umbrella where we have different outlets, right? So I'm a mortgage broker. The whole advantage, what sets me apart from another loan officer, is that we have the ability to work with over 40 plus lenders, right?
Okay.
So with that, right? Typically on the biggest financial transaction of your life, you should be talking to at least a few people, you would think, right?
You would think, yes.
Like Black Friday, you'll go shopping around trying to find the best deal on sneakers, right?
Yep.
Save $100, whatever it is, $50 because they're on sale. But
Whichever sells the best.
Right. On the biggest transaction of your life with a home, they're steered in one direction with their real estate agent, and little do they know they're actually paying a lot more. They're getting a higher rate. All these different factors that they're not really aware of based on the relationship aspect of, hey, here's somebody trustworthy you can go talk to.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas not all these products are the same, right? You go talk to one lender, if they work for a bank, that's going to be, they only have a limited limited products to offer.
Okay.
Right. And, you know, for your situation, you may be a first-time home buyer. You may need You may need a VA loan.
That VA loan, baby.
Banks don't really cater to government loans. They want more of the conventional and the jumbo ones. Those are the bigger ones. So what they do is they gross up the rates a little bit on the government loans, FHA and VA, to recoup their losses. Right. So not a lot of people realize this. So we're kind of like a Costco in a sense, right?
Okay, that's a good way to put it.
Costco is a surplus of goods being sold.
Yep.
That's why you get name brands for cheap.
Yep.
Same thing with us. I can go through, 40 plus lenders and get you a better deal than what they would offer it to you at direct to consumer, right? The retail side.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and I think that's so important because let's be honest, you said it's the biggest purchase in your life, and that's 100% true. Yeah. And a lot of people don't know how to go through it. No. And it can be scary. I know for me, me and my girlfriend are talking about buying a house here in the next year or two, which probably is the worst time to do it, but you might tell me differently. And I would have no idea how to go about doing it.
Right.
So obviously I would want to talk to you because there are so many different things. And I love the analogy of Costco, right? Because you want to be able to check out different things, but what's the biggest caveat with that? People don't want to spend the time.
Correct. Yeah. But you asked me earlier too, why I cold call real estate agents.
Yes.
It's an untapped lead source forever. When you want to buy a home, who's the first person you're going to reach out to probably?
A realtor.
Right, because you want to see a home.
Yep.
But you need a pre-qualification letter to go see that home. You need to go talk to a lender, right?
Gotcha.
So what do they do? Steer you in that direction.
Okay.
Right, so that's why I got busy contacting real estate agents, is because whenever somebody wants to buy a home, they contact me. I got somebody for you. We get in touch. Whether they're able to buy a home right then and there, we work together over the next 3-6 months, sometimes a year, and get them into the position where we can finally put them into a home.
Okay. And how long is that process? Once the realtor calls
sometimes people are ready to go.
Yeah.
Right? Depending on their financials, everything else. Sometimes people need rehab, like with credit.
That's true.
Sometimes people need to save for a down payment or figure it out, right?
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. And I mean, it's true. Like I said, a lot of people don't know how to go about doing it, so they might not necessarily have all the financial stuff prepared and ready, which can be very difficult. But last year, huge year out here in Arizona when it comes to buying homes, selling homes, renting homes. People are paying astronomical rates and astronomical amounts of money for houses and a lot of cash. How was last year for you? I mean, it had to be amazing.
Last year, incredible year, right? All I wanted to do was double up on the volume that I had done the previous year, because the previous year was my first year. They said, don't expect anything your first year, and I scraped together some deals, right?
Yeah.
And then the second year, I wanted to just basically double what I had done in volume the year prior, right?
Okay.
Pretty reasonable goal.
Yeah.
But circumstances turned out to be that there turned out to be a refinance boom, a lot of opportunity. But still, even through that time, I still chose to capitalize on those long-term relationships with those real estate agents, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which is paying dividends now as well, now that the rates are going back up.
Yep.
But with that, I won a couple of awards, right? Fastest growing loan officer with our biggest wholesale lender out there.
Congrats, man. That's awesome.
Yep. Top 20 from Rocket, which is formerly Quicken.
Okay.
But very, very small accomplishments, I think, in the long term, but all kind of a tribute to the work ethic that I put forward to it, right?
Yeah.
I'm a big advocate in that. Like, you can really turn something into nothing.
But yeah, last year, monster year.
Yep.
So those long-term relationships, those long-term goals, they actually started to really, really pay off.
Very much so.
How many awards did you win last year? You said a few.
Just two.
Two?
Yeah.
And you're looking to do even bigger things this year.
Yeah, and the awards don't mean anything. It's ultimately about, obviously bigger sales volume, the better. But the more and more relationships that I can build with agents and also help people out, because I get a lot of deals from referrals.
Yeah.
Right? Like, people turn me on to their friends, family, because we save them money. Right?
Exactly.
Like I mentioned earlier, If you just give me a loan estimate, you can put it side by side without even me having to look at theirs, and you're just going to be saving money. So at that point in time, why do you pick option A over option B? Like, you don't pay more.
No. And that's the thing that people need to know. And that's why I wanted to bring you in. And I know you're very, very big on relationships. You love keeping people, you know, close to you because you want to help them out. Talk about that a little bit. Like, why is that so key in your game to follow through on those relationships and make sure that people are happy?
You're providing value. It's not just a sale at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't have because I don't have leads coming in, right? I don't work at a place that just gives me deals. Everything is relationship based and word of mouth and my reputation, right? So if I don't perform, I don't live up to my word, nobody's going to come back and see me again, right? I am my own business. Yeah. And so it's imperative. If I make a mistake, I've made many mistakes in my business before. And what do? I pay for it out of my own pocket. Yeah. It's the right thing to do.
And you have to. I mean, just kind of own up for what you got to do. Unfortunately, everybody makes mistakes, but it's how you bounce back and how you learn from those mistakes. 150%.
Sometimes people in my industry, being a so-called lender, you have a bad reputation because there's a negative stigma involved. There's numbers. These numbers change. You see fees involved. People are very they're intimidated by it.
They are.
And so I feel the need to walk these people through and feel comfortable so they understand this. And the more that you understand it and you feel comfortable, we're going to feel more connected. A relationship is there. And then it's long term, right? Because it's not just this deal. What about when you buy a home in 5 years? What about when your family buys a home? It's a network.
Exactly. And I think once you have those return businesses, right, that's when it's key, because people always want to talk about bad shit that happens, right? If something happens at a restaurant and they mess up your order, you best believe you are telling your friends.
That's the way it works.
Exactly. But when it's really, really good, people also want to do that. Maybe not as much, but when it's something that's so hit or miss, right? My girlfriend does hair. The second a girl gets her hair done, she's like, oh, shit, like, I want to get my hair done by her now. Yeah. It's the same type of thing. Like, oh, he hooked him up with a house, helped him get a really low rate, great cost. Boom, let's refer him. Yep. So that's why I was so happy to interview you, because I see that continually happen. It's like every other day I'm seeing you, like, oh, closing in 2 days, closing in 5 days, man. It's just
the speed.
It's the speed, man.
That's one thing I'll touch on really quick is most lenders will take 30 days plus to close your loan. And one of the lenders that I work with, religiously almost, we're closing them within 2 or 3 weeks, if that. So sometimes even sooner. So, a lot of people think that when you're shopping for a mortgage, it's about your interest rate and your payment. Yeah. It is, right? But there's a variety of other factors too. Service, communication, right? Do you want to be able to get a hold of your guy on the weekend? I'm sure you do.
Yeah, 100%.
You want to be able to get a hold of them after 8 p.m.? I'm sure you do. There's a lot of people that don't answer their phones after 5 p.m. because why? You're directly tied to them at the office, right? You don't have their direct line.
Got you.
Whereas with me, it's my business. You pretty much have access to me or my assistant or my processor, whoever it is, to get something done for you.
So let me ask you a question, and then we're gonna clip this for Instagram. All right. So someone needs to get in contact with you. They need your help. What do they need to do prior to meeting with you or sitting down with you? What do they need to have ready for you to look at so that way you can better help them?
The best thing to do would be to visit my website at www.briankellyhomeloans.com. Okay. Fill out the application online, right? Disclose all of the information that you need, right? And then we sit down together after you've given me your pay stubs and W-2s and such. I look at your income. I tell you what your max price point is. Okay. Tell you what your payments are going to be like, your interest rate, your closing cost, the whole nine, and really try to educate you on the things to do and not to do, because there's a lot of things that you can do after we talk to blow the whole thing, and then you're SOL. Right? Oh. You should have luck.
What are some of those things?
For instance, like open up a new line of credit. Happens all the time, right? You're getting ready to buy in. You're getting ready to go into your new home. People buy fucking cars, right?
I see the memes all the time.
Furniture, right? All of these big ticket items. What they don't realize is now you have to be accountable for that payment inside of what we had already done before. And oftentimes that new payment doesn't align, and now you don't have a home. And I'm talking about, like, I've seen it a week moving in, and you didn't live up to, certain expectations. They didn't know, certain variables, which maybe they're common sense to most people, but a lot of people aren't really aware of that.
Yeah. And that would be the worst thing ever, to be like, we about to get into the house and now you can't because
they
you
don't
decide
even think
to go.
it's a big deal.
Oh, I believe it.
No, but
100%.
right before they fund your loan, they're going to pull a credit on you.
Okay.
And if there's anything new that pops up,
They're going to see it.
What happens? Yep. And then from there, you're going to have to get the statement. They're going to have to factor in that new payment, and then now maybe you don't qualify.
So freaking wait to buy your dang furniture and the new plasma screen TV and your new Tesla, whatever the hell you guys want to buy.
Spending money, depositing money.
Just ride it out.
Cash. Yep. That's the other thing too. A lot of people have a lot of cash they're holding on to.
Yes.
And with cash and a home loan, they don't necessarily coincide.
Okay.
Yeah, because your cash needs to be sourced. So if you don't have a reasoning for
That's
that
true.
cash, it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
And I've seen people think that they can deposit that money and it works, and it doesn't work that way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of cash out there, whether it's like under the table, whatever. It doesn't matter. Mattress money.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. But I kind of want to dive into the backstory, man, because this is what we talked about a lot when I very first met you.
Yep.
You've came from some hard times.
Very much so.
And it's kind of made you who you are today and put you on the path that you are currently on right now, which is helping other people. So let's talk about it, man.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start?
Or you tell me.
Hey, from the very beginning.
I don't know where to begin, but ultimately, people ask like, where did you go into where did things go wrong? Like, where did you get into trouble? You know what I mean? And I had a very perfect life growing up. Like, I got good grades. I was good in school, sports, like, decent looking kid. Like, I didn't get picked on. Like, just everything went okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Parents are still together. I just got bored and I wanted more. And I have a very quirky personality in a sense where I'm just like always looking to do something in a sense.
Yeah.
And drugs filled that void for a little bit of time, like in high school.
Okay.
And main stuff was a little bit of weed and Percocets or OxyContin. But after I graduated high school, I went into college, and the drug addiction just kind of spiraled out of control.
Okay.
The Oxycontins led into Oxycontins led into doing heroin, and then
Wow.
doing heroin led into doing other things, injecting those drugs.
Yeah.
In order to use those drugs, you'd have to rob, steal, lie, cheat, manipulate, the whole nine, right?
Yeah.
So it was a very vicious lifestyle for many, many years. Until I was able to kind of turn it around. But, ultimately that was kind of the path. There was nothing that really set me off, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, very, very different upbringing than what some people go through. But ultimately, at the end of the day, a lot of people who have gone down my path via, drug addiction or prison, whatever it is, don't return from that lifestyle.
Yeah.
Either they die, they end up in prison long term. Right, I've got friends that are still doing time, or they go back in and they're just now getting out, and I see them on Facebook. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy to see how those certain groups of people don't really go anywhere.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I'm just very, very fortunate that that's not me.
Yeah. So you just kind of slid into it, not really intentionally, just kind of fell into it. Was there ever a moment that you were like, shit, I need to get my act together. I shouldn't be doing this, like all the time.
All the time.
When was like the first time? Do you have an idea? Or like maybe was there something that happened that you're like, oh shit?
Yeah, after time where you're just like, man, this is a boring lifestyle, right? Like, nobody wants to be around you because you're just scheming people, right? Using drugs is a very introverted lifestyle in a sense. When it gets dark, you
very care about yourself only.
Yep. And so nobody else wants to be around you. But when you're on drugs is when I would want to turn my life around. When you don't have the drugs, you don't want to do anything but get them.
Okay.
So it's you're battling yourself.
It's like a catch-22.
The only time that you tell on yourself is when you're high, and the only time that you want to do something is when you're high. But when you don't have those, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you're aware of like how the heroin addiction works, but like you're physically sick, right? So like if you don't have this drug, when you wake up in the morning, you're physically sick. And I'm talking about throwing up, diarrhea.
Is it from withdrawals
nauseous,
or just
exactly?
Okay.
And 7 days of that, right?
Wow.
So, and the moment that you put your hands on it, it's all relieved.
Yeah.
Right? It's okay. It's better. And so, my days would just really be filled around getting high. Like, what's the next dose? What's the next, you know what I mean? What's the next move? Yeah. It was very, very empty.
Why do you think it kind of felt that way? I mean, was it because of what you were going through in high school? Because it sounds like, you were successful with sports and, great student, everything like that. What kind of made you go down that path, do you think? Sorry, I'm hitting you with some hard questions, my man.
No, I mean, hey, at the end of the day, I would say it's the people that you're with. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's a variety of factors. It was the people I was with. It was the lifestyle I was living. And then if you add a certain type of narcotic in there to my brain chemistry, it's like the cherry on top.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some people don't like opiates. Some people love uppers. Some people
Love
whatever.
down, yeah.
Right. So I think it has to do with the individual and their brain chemistry. And I'm a firm believer in addiction.
Yeah.
And some people may not be, but at the end of the day, like, the science behind it, is there. So,
well, I know it's so easy to get addicted to these things. Addiction runs deep in my family as well. A lot of alcohol addiction. That's why I try and not drink a whole lot. But you are who you hang around with, and I think that's such a key point. For the longest time, I was told, don't hang out with certain people. You want to be better than them. But at that time, when you're such a young kid and you're going through your own shit, you don't think you're better than anybody else. You just want to figure something out to fit in or to look cool, something like that. And so that's the kind of path. It is.
You're not thinking ahead.
No, you're not thinking ahead, and you don't realize what's going to go on further down the future.
No.
I mean, I've been very open to my parents, to my family, to others about stuff that I've done just because I want that accountability there, because I'm not a person that's, going to judge other people for what they do and their mistakes and everything like that. That's your life. I want you to live your life to the best, and what you do makes you who you are.
Yep.
And if you're somebody that I want to be around and I want to hang out with, it doesn't matter where you came from. I could care less.
Yeah,
I mean, every time we run into each other, we're big hug.
Yep.
Every single time I'll come across the room. We did it at Eric's show.
Yep.
And that's why I'm proud of you, man. You overcame it, and I could never imagine what you went through. What was that like though, coming out of jail? Because you were in prison or just jail?
Both.
Both. Okay. What was that like coming out? How was that experience?
So coming out, it was really the one thing that actually, the only thing that actually got me out of this whole mess was actually the 12 steps, right?
Yeah.
Going through sobriety and actually working those steps like people tell you to do.
Yeah.
That was by far the last thing that I wanted to do. And it was the last thing that I did.
Yeah.
I had tried everything, medications, detox, rehabs, the whole nine, and nothing ever worked, right?
Yeah.
And the moment that I actually did this and worked it, kind of like I'm a firm believer and just put in the work and shit happens, everything started to turn around, right? So I went to these meetings, I got a sponsor, I worked these steps, I read this book, I did all the stuff that I didn't want to do, right?
Yeah.
And everything in my life started to kind of just unfold. I got a job, got promoted, got a girlfriend, family back, money back, and it just blossomed, right? And so I stayed sober for 3 full years, helping new people, helping newcomers come in. I ran a sober living home for a little while.
Okay.
Did a few different adventures in sobriety, and it really helped propel me into the direction that I went in, right?
Yeah.
The unfortunate part is now sometimes I enjoy a cocktail, right? So I can't participate in these types of sobriety groups anymore. But man, the knowledge that I learned in that short amount of time is what really helped me get out of that whole mess.
Well, and I know that can be such a huge thing, talking to people that are going through it, or maybe they're trying to do the 12 steps. Because like for me with military and mental health, right, it's pretty well known, and it can be very tough. And I'll talk to just about anyone in the military, especially when they get out, because that transformation is so hard. You go from being told what to do every single second of the day to you get to make your own decisions. And that may sound super easy and super dumb to people, but it's great. You would know when you're told every single day exactly how to live your life. It's completely different. And especially when you throw in, being in war and everything like that, the mental health is insane. So I commend you on that, because taking the time to go through the 12 steps, but then also helping the next generation go through the 12 steps.
That's what it's all about.
It is. Back. What are the 12 steps? I've always been curious.
Oh man, I can't name them off the top of my head.
Okay.
The first one is you got to admit that you're an addict, right?
Yeah.
You're powerless over drugs and alcohol or whatever it is. Hey, and the whole thing behind that is the true testament to that shit actually works is the fact that they created, I don't know how many self-help groups around the 12 steps.
Yeah.
Right? Sex Anonymous.
Yep.
Whatever it is. At the end of the day, that stuff works if you apply those principles in your life.
Exactly.
Really
Yeah, you have to admit it. You have to admit it and then start to figure out ways to overcome it. And I think a big one is accountability.
Yep.
You probably know that better than, most people. Accountability is so huge, and it can help, because when you got to talk to somebody about it, you're like, shit.
I'm a firm believer, if you want to be accountable for yourself, tell people around you what you're doing.
Exactly.
Because when you see people, they're going to ask you how that's going, and that'll be a direct reminder of whether or not you're on your shit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I see people talk about how they're going to do this and that, and really 6 months into it, they're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Until the next money train comes along, right? And
Yep.
they're hopping on that. They don't give that enough, right? So.
Yeah. All right, so take me through, after you came out, the 12-step process, helping everybody out. How did you land into doing what you're doing now? Did you just kind of stumble into it, or you find your way to it?
No, before I got into mortgages, I was working at Stake 44.
Solid spot.
Yep, solid spot. I got caught up in the industry, right? So as most people do, whether you're a dancer, a bartender, or, you know what I mean, a fine dining waiter, there's a lot of cash involved and quick money. And so with that, I was bartending in high school. I'm sorry, not high school.
In college? Okay, yeah.
When I was at ASU's business school, and then I got out, and instead of getting a job in the corporate world for having a business degree, I'm like, all right, I'm already making 60, 70 here as a bartender. Servers make over 100. I'll go into server.
Yeah.
And then once you're there, you don't ever want to leave, right? And you're not going to go leave to go start a job for $50,000 a year, right?
Yes.
You're making double, because now you've become accustomed to this lifestyle.
Yep.
And then the reality is I didn't do nearly as much work as I should have to have two side hustles. I love when people tell me, like, I'm going to bartend and then I'm going to go and be a real estate agent. Like, I mean, yes, do that for however often, how long you can. But I think the reality is that people do it for too long because they don't let go.
Yeah.
You got to take a risk. You got to drop what you're doing and really just trust faith.
Yeah.
Right? And fortunately for me, I had a different set of circumstances, come from that. But ultimately, the way everything worked out is a direct reflection of my own efforts, right? At the end of the day, nobody ever gave me anything. Nobody gave me a handout. The only thing people gave me was an opportunity. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I just capitalized on it.
Who was that person that gave you the opportunity?
So as a matter of fact, it was this gentleman named Randy Bongard. There was a gentleman named Ryan Manley who I was going to go work with for a little while. And, and he told me basically what I needed to do. And I took the test. He threw me on onboarding and got hired on. And the moment that it came down to it, he didn't want to take me on, because in my business, you have to mentor people. You learn as you go, kind of like in your industry. You don't know everything off the back.
There's so much to know.
You can train for months on end, but you still don't know everything. It's as you go. So that's why my industry, it's important to have like a mentor and kind of show you the ropes. He was too busy, told me he didn't have the time for me, and was only willing to give me a fraction of the pay. I found that I was a lot more valuable in that aspect. And so
100%.
I found a different avenue. And luckily, I ended up in the avenue that I am because I went to go work for a broker, and I went to go see the true value, because these people left the banking side of the industry to come over. And so they kind of educated me on, like, this is how we're different. And I just went to school with it, right? So I called agents and I tried to tell them, like, hey, the lenders you're working with are more expensive for your clients. And really they are. Yeah. Right? Like these big.
And I can show you that they are.
Hands down.
Yeah.
These bigger retail banks like Nova, Academy, Fairway, AmeriFirst. I'm just name dropping all these people.
Hey, yeah, do it.
They have these big shiny office buildings on these corners of, 44th and Camelback. That costs money. Yeah. Your CEO that gets paid a lot of money, that costs money. The lavish vacations that you guys go on at the end of the year for performing, that costs money. All of that stuff costs money, and it needs to be recouped in their business model. Who do you think pays for it? The clients, right? And they're paying through in the interest rate, and they don't know. That's why it's imperative. Go shop. Yes. Right? I'm taking a loan from a different company right now. We're beating them by 0.5 point, and we don't have any fees. Yeah. Right? Like, why are you paying fees? Right?
Most people don't know why they pay fees. They just think like, oh, this is part of it. This is what you have to do.
They trust the person that they were led there with, and they like the person they're working with, and maybe they don't know any better. Right? Yeah. But, that's what I'm here for. I like to take the time, really try to educate the consumer, my client, right, into knowing these things. So therefore, down the road, even if they don't use me again, maybe they'll have the knowledge. These people appreciate that.
Oh, 100%. And you said that you work with realtors, so they might have somebody and they send them to you. How many realtors do you work with?
Good ones that send me constant deals right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, the ones that we want to name drop and keep those referrals coming, you know.
8 maybe.
8? Okay.
Yeah.
That's is that pretty solid?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so I'm okay with it right now.
Okay. Good.
I'd love to have more, but then at the same point in time, you run into capacity issues, right? Then I need to have people underneath me who can help me accommodate this.
Yep.
So everything growing I'm growing at an exponential pace right now, and I'm happy about it. But ultimately, I see bigger future plans down the road.
Yeah.
And we're headed in the right direction for that, I think.
So what is the next step for you?
I'd love to open my own brokerage.
Okay.
Right. So right now I'm employed by a company who we have access through. That they basically hang my license like any other realtor.
Yeah.
You work for a company who hangs your license. You work for a company who hangs your license, essentially. And so I want to be that company, and I would love to hire on loan officers and show them as a mortgage broker, not only can you provide more value to your clients, you can make more money. Like our commission spreads that we're making as an independent mortgage broker are more than direct to consumer, right? Like people that work for Quicken, Loan Depot, AmeriFirst, whatever it is, right? Our commission spreads are more, right? And we're saving people money.
Yeah. So not only you're getting paid, which let's be honest, everyone's got to get paid, right? But you're also helping other people get lower payments.
More flexibility too.
Yes.
Like we have less regulations. Like I've got a friend who works for, Wells Fargo as a loan officer because they're FDIC insured. They have a lot more stricter regulations. Like their clients, they have to be monitored on the phone when they have conversations.
Oh, see, yeah, no.
Not mine.
Yeah.
No, I text my clients.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's a personal.
It's more personable.
Very much so.
Yeah. So you talked about a mentor. Have you mentored people?
I've tried.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've had a few people try to come on, but I think a lot of people just don't have what it takes, unfortunately.
It's tough starting out.
It is. And especially because when I train somebody, they're taking a lot of my time, right?
A huge amount.
And on top of that, too, if they're not bringing in things, all these people nowadays want to be paid.
Exactly.
They see the money. They want to be paid right away. They don't understand what it takes. So now what I do is I look for the people who are hungry enough that want it, right, and are not expecting big handouts. And the moment that you actually perform and live up to, my expectations is when you'll be rewarded handsomely, in a sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even more so, too, the people that I can hire on now, I can pay them a lot more than what they're getting paid. The problem is, I can. The problem is that they can't go, like, I don't have lead gen coming in. I don't have these leads coming in to where they can put together these deals.
Exactly.
Whereas at the other company, they may have a plethora of them coming in, but they're earning pennies on the dollar.
Yes.
You follow?
And that's where, like, the separation can come in, where the hard work really, really starts to pay off.
Yeah.
Yes. But it does take a different mindset. I mean,
it does.
In today's world, a lot of people want to get spoon-fed. Shit. That's why so many people are still on unemployment. They don't want to go back to work because why would they work when they can get it for free?
That's why I can't find a fucking Uber driver at 2 a.m.
Exactly. That's why you can't find just about anything. I mean, hey, sometimes you have to suck it up. I talk a lot about what I've had to do. Like I still Grubhub sometimes because the industry, like it takes some time. So I have no problem going out at night and Grubhubbing for dinner. That's just how it is. You have to make money somehow. Yeah. The 1st and the 15th, you got to pay some bills.
Yeah.
And it sucks right now to see people not have that discipline and not want to make money and just want to be given everything.
People are lazy.
Yeah.
People are more concerned about looking
cool
or looking wealthy, looking successful than actually being successful.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer again in, like, look at the people who are talking now and look at them in a year from now. Like, are they going to be anywhere different? You know what I mean? And some people will be, and some people are going to do some great shit, and there's a lot of people that are not, right? And at the end of the day, the people who are not, that's not a big deal, right? Like, maybe you just don't have it in you, but, I challenge those people to take a look within yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because you're only getting older. Time just keeps going by.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's always funny because, you see people say, like, oh, this is what I'm going to do, and then you'll check back, and they're not doing it anymore, or something fell apart and there's an excuse or something like that.
People get discouraged really easy.
People get discouraged really, really easy, man. And it's sad to see, but
I've been there.
The strong people will come out and they will work.
Yep. I've been there before.
Yeah.
We all fail. We all fail.
It's how you bounce back, man.
Yep.
100% how you bounce
Absolutely.
back. So I'm actually surprised that your phone hasn't gone off in this interview,
Oh, it
because you've been.
has.
Oh, has it? Okay, I was gonna say.
Oh, actually, no, it hasn't.
I was like,
No,
man.
there's text. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I see you all the time. Take me through a normal day in your life right now. Wild, I bet.
When I just get sucked in. I get up at like 6 now, right?
Yep.
So I feel like the older that I get, the earlier that I get up, and I can accomplish more throughout the day. So I get up at 6 a.m. Unfortunately, the first thing I do is I look at my phone and I start going through emails and start getting my day together. Ultimately, I have deadlines to meet, right? I have people who are closing on homes and have a lot of obligations coming up to certain dates. So there's a lot of pressure in my industry. So get up in the morning, make sure my day's set up, usually get a workout in the morning. If I can't, usually I'm glued to my computer until about noon when I look up and realize I gotta like brush my teeth.
I gotta get ready for the day.
Yep. And then from there, really just getting on the phone and making calls. Honestly, my phone just goes off. And so if I'm on the phone, I get a missed call, I get off the phone, I call somebody back. Call. Always following up on people that have been, that you've come into communication with a year ago. Maybe they weren't ready to buy a home. I'll follow up on people that are pre-qualified who are out looking for a home, just to touch base and stay in front of people, right? Staying in front of people is key. And then also the agents, calling new real estate agents.
Okay. So are you still doing cold calling, or have you kind of built it up?
No, on my downtime, it's very seldom, I do call.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
But it's more tuned in now. It's more, I don't just cold call. I call back the people who are who watch my videos, who watch my email campaigns I send out, the people who are entertaining me but not utilizing me for business.
Yes.
Because obviously they're intrigued by either I'm closing loans in 5 days or, whatever it is.
Yeah.
They're hanging around. So I'll call, just have a conversation. Because before it was very like, let me tell you what I can do for you.
Exactly.
And now it's more conversation driven. And I find that people are just picking up more on what I'm posting on social media and allowing the conversation over the phone.
Yeah.
And things have been kind of naturally developing.
Yeah, dude, you've picked up the Instagram game and the social media game.
I wish I could do it more and better.
Oh, you
Just
will.
get so consumed.
You do, but
do it all for me.
But what you've done right now is solid, because exactly like you said, for me, I don't like to go in with the approach of like, okay, I'm just going to tell people what I can do for them. I would rather sit with them for like 30 minutes and talk through whatever. Do you watch The Office? Sorry, very random.
A long time ago.
Long time ago. So there's an episode where Michael Scott takes this guy to Chili's or something like that. I don't know. And they end up talking for like an hour and a half, and his boss is with him, and she's pissed, and he ends up closing the deal that was not closable. Like, they had to bring in people from corporate, and it's because he was a people person. And so it sounds so stupid to take that approach, but that was always something funny, because I will talk to people for like 30 minutes and I'm like, oh, well, let's dive in, or then you just kind of transition into things. And I feel like that's key on trying to talk to people, is knowing how to maybe drop a little hint or do something like that, because ultimately you want to get the point across. But if you can do it in a way where it doesn't seem so salesy or so like, hey, I'm going to pitch you or something like that, that's when relationships can really blossom.
It's all about the relationship.
Yes.
Yep.
Connecting, my man. Yeah. Dude, I love what you're doing. You have a website right now. You already told the people to go check it out, put in the info. What else is on there?
Information about different types of loans are on there. I think there's a mortgage calculator on there. You can see how much your home is valued at, I believe, on there.
Nice.
Besides my personal contact information, I believe I have a couple of videos up there as well.
Okay.
And then also, I think the awards that I won from last year, I had my social media little marketer kind of help me out and put that on there for me too. So
that's awesome, man. What were the awards again? One more time.
One of the fastest growing loan officers for a company called United Wholesale Mortgage. And then also Rocket was top 20 mortgage broker.
How was that winning? I know it's not about awards, but like that had to feel good.
It was a surreal moment because, I left. So I was with one company for 1 year, and I knew 6 months into it I needed to leave because I was going to outgrow them. I wasn't getting the help that I needed. And I stuck it out for 1 year because it was a professional thing to do, not to leave before your first year. The moment that my first year hit, my boss knew what I was going to do, and I left. I had transitioned my pipeline over from one company to another, and then I hit the new company, brand new, didn't know very much, but just was kind of able to figure it out and put everything together. The effort that I put forth was not meant to be any kind of, you know, winning any type of award, right?
Yeah.
It just all boiled down to, you know, I don't even know how to say it, man.
Yeah.
It just was surreal.
Hey, when you can do the job, love the job, and be good at it, and then you get awarded for it, that's when it's really cool, because it's not about trying to go like win an award, right? Athletes always want to win MVP, but the ones that win MVPs normally aren't trying to win an MVP.
No.
They want to win a championship.
No, I only set out with the whole goal just to, like I said, break the numbers that I had before and really build a brand, right? Like,
Yeah.
I have an idea. Like, I want a team. I want like a fully functional team where I have other loan officers underneath me, right? And then also, like, I already have the people who are helping me out on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But really, what I would like to do is mold others and help them out, try to make more money in their industry too, and also build a book. Build a book of business for yourself, though,
Nice.
right? Because ultimately, there's a lot of loan officers out there right now who are with their respective companies, and the companies own that information, right?
Yeah.
Like, those are their leads, right? Those are not your leads. You may take some of those with you, but ultimately, they control a lot of that information, right?
Yeah.
And with me, these clients of mine, you know, they may get solicited by a different lender right down the road, but there's a relationship that was built there based off of whether it was referral,
Yeah.
a prior relationship, or the introduction from the real estate agent who they trust as well.
Yes.
These people are going to be set up for life.
100%. So how many clients are you currently working with, like, at this moment right now?
Right now, I think I have maybe 12 active loans. Yeah.
And then what's the max that you've had at one time? Because like I said, man, I've been seeing your stuff just taken in and out.
15 to 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's a heavy load.
When I'm doing everything on my own right now, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have somebody who I'm training up to be an assistant. I have processors, but at the end of the day, my files are my files, right? And there's a lot of, like I mentioned before, everything is my reputation, right? So these real estate agents depend on me to close their client's loan on time.
Yep.
And if I don't close it on time, you better believe I'm going to get static for it,
Yep.
and they're probably not going to use me again in the future. So my goal is to not only close on time, but to close early,
Yep.
have their clients love me, and then also get them a great deal.
And then get all the referrals.
And they get all the referrals.
Then get all the referrals.
and all the family referrals.
Man, thank you so much for coming on. Anything you want to say? One little last nugget of advice? Anything, man?
No, more or less just thank you for the opportunity to have me on and share my story. I really
Of course.
have, you know, it's really important to me. I aspire to inspire,
Yeah.
as I've been told before. You know, at the end of the day, what I've been through, I really find that there's a lot of people that are going through things in life, and I hear them complain a lot. And, you know, the only thing I can say is really, like, you are responsible for yourself, right? No matter what. You can blame whatever circumstances in your life on whoever, but at the end of the day, what you do from the moment you get out of bed to the moment you go to bed really sets you up for what kind of life you're living. And at the end of the day, if you don't have what you want, I mean, really look in the mirror. It's because of you.
100%. And that's something we dove into in almost every episode, because you really do have to own up, because that's where the separation comes, right? Everyone thinks they work hard, but then they wonder why they don't have things that people who work hard do have. And that's the separation right there.
Yeah, to an extent. And we all, nowadays too, with Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Very easy to see people having certain ticket items that are very desirable, very hard to obtain, right?
Yeah.
And it almost sets certain expectations, you know, to be too unrealistic for some people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so there's a lot of people right now who I think are very, you see it more and more. A lot of people are depressed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they don't have the latest and greatest, right? You're driving around a fucking Mercedes and you're unhappy because you don't have a Bentley.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what are you complaining about? There's people that would love to have that car.
To have a car.
A car.
Exactly. I'll be honest. I went through a little bit of that this last year, because like I said, honesty, man. I'll be completely honest, because I'm a firm believer in, like, you are who you hang around with. We talked about that, right? So I want to hang out with successful people.
Right.
But at the same time, a lot of the people I hang out with are 5, 6, 7, 10 years older than me. And I'm trying to compare myself to them, who are like business owners or successful people like yourself. And it's like, I can't do that to myself.
No.
And I did that for, you know, a lot of last year and even a little bit into this year. And man, a couple weeks ago, I just realized there's no point.
We all start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere.
I mean?
And you were one of the big ones, yes, that encouraged me and told me.
I've been where you've been, like at the whole financial planning thing. I had done that before, and after a year of people telling me no, what did I do? I gave up. You know what I mean? So therefore, when this time came around and people kept telling me no, I kept calling you back. Kept calling you back. And there's people that have given me an opportunity merely based off of persistence. Right? Like the fact that I chose to keep calling back, that I had it in me, people gave me the opportunity. Most people get shy and they don't call that person again. You know what I mean? To me, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. So you better ask and then ask again.
I would rather be told no than never know the answer. 1,000%.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you again so much, man, for coming on.
Really.
I'm super excited for this episode. I really hope you guys take something from it. Please visit his website, DM him. If you're trying to get in touch with him, you can DM me too. I text with you like at least once a week. So yeah, if you need to get in contact with him, if you can bring the smoke and you are a determined hard worker, maybe you might be the one that he could train. Just maybe. I don't know, guys. That's the episode. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.